She's recording?
Yep.
Nice. Real talk alert.
Season 2?
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of Wheel Talk. This is the first episode for 2024. We did plan on doing one at the end of last year, but we just completely ran out of time.
Yep, we'd hoped to come back to you with a new episode
A year-end,
now.
yeah, year-end review.
But yeah, Christmas time and coming into the holiday season definitely kept our hands full.
Caught us off guard almost. Just explosion of sales, but to one audience we expected, and one audience we didn't expect, which we'll talk about in this episode. Really quickly, we've got a pretty jam-packed episode, 30 minutes probably, talking about some new models, talking about what we've got coming in very soon. We've got a competition on this episode. Do you want to tell them about that?
Competition? Yes.
A giveaway. It's more of a giveaway.
It's
not
a giveaway.
A competition.
Yeah. We've got some Fox merch to give away. Not sure exactly what that will be but yeah, we've got some Fox caps, some
hoodies,
t-shirts, gloves, different things.
Oh yeah, I always forget the gloves. The gloves are actually really
and there's so many different awesome colors as well. But yeah.
So how do you win?
How do you win? Say something on our channel.
Comment, you mean?
Comment on the channel, and that will put you into the draw for one of the giveaways.
Yep, that's right. So every comment on this video will go in the draw, and on the next episode of Wheel Talk, we'll do a draw. Whoever we name, whoever you pull out, will win, and then we'll talk to that person, find out what they want, what their size is, and we'll assign something to them from our prize cupboard.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool.
Let's do that.
What else are we going to talk about? We're talking about the K6. We've got a new shipment of that coming in. We've got a really big announcement on that. And we're going to talk about, what else?
New models coming.
New models, yep. Talk about that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We were really hoping to have had our hands on some of the new models before we did this episode, which is why we've kind of held off doing it for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But due to some unforeseeable delays,
Pirates.
we won't get our hands on that stock until next week now.
Yeah. So we might as well jump straight into that topic. That was number 2, but we'll just jump around. So
sure.
On the boat coming from China right now, well, actually it's between Melbourne and Brisbane. We have V14 Adventure, we have Lynx, we have
S16,
Patterns, we have S16,
Pro.
S16 Pros, and quite a few others. A lot of it is
A2.
pre-sold. Most of it is pre-sold. A2s, yeah. Most of it is pre-sold. We have a few left. It was due into Brisbane on the 15th of this month, which we told our customers. We sent an email out with the link to the boat so they could track it, because we know our customers get really excited by this stuff.
Yeah.
And then we were met with a massive, unprecedented, I've never seen one this long, where the boat just sat outside Victoria for 5 days. So it completely blew past our due date into Brisbane, and it didn't leave until 2 or 3 days ago. So it's a week behind schedule.
Due into port in Brisbane
this
on Monday.
Yep, this Monday.
Yeah, fingers crossed it'll get out to us so that we can start QCing and shipping out by mid next week.
I mean, it was completely out of our control. We can't reach out to the forwarder or the shipper or the captain of the boat and say, hey, what's going on? It is what it is, unfortunately. These things happen from time to time.
Yeah.
You know, we have seen, I remember what was it that time? I remember it was something we were waiting on. We were really excited about it. It had the bed bugs on the boat.
Yeah.
What was that? wasn't the Sherman S22s? That's what it was? No. Yes, it was.
Yeah, the container ended up sitting in a car park and needing fumigation, and it just sat there for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Well, it wasn't even our container.
Our container wasn't. It wasn't infected, but,
no,
but
someone else's container at the other end of the boat. They had to do every single container, and they were understaffed, and there was COVID, and it was just worst case scenario. Anyway, we're not going through that hopefully this time. It gets in Monday. We should have it by Wednesday, and then we'll start. We've got, the whole team ready to go to QC units and ship them out as quickly as possible.
Yep. And those wheels we understand are, we have a lot of extremely excited customers eagerly awaiting the arrival. So we do apologize for these delays. It's unfortunate, and we'll do our best to QC and ship out those wheels as soon as is possible for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows this, but one thing we don't do, we don't just unload the pallet, slap your label on it, and send it out the door.
We don't just ship boxes.
No, we open up every single wheel, we pull every single wheel out, we turn it on, we take it out of transportation mode, we put it on charge, we check all the USB ports work, we check the tire runs true, we check the headlight works, we check if the suspension, if there is suspension, if it works, we check the pedals open and close properly. What else? There's a few other things. All those little things that when you get...
Connecting to the app, making setting changes,
that's right.
All those sort of things, firmware updates.
So we spend 15, 20 minutes on every single wheel. So it does take time, but we do this for two reasons. One, it saves on a customer receiving a dead-on arrival or a DOA unit, which would just be super annoying for the customer, but also it costs us money to have to ship it back. So we're protecting both parties by doing this. So we know that when we ship a unit out, when it leaves us at least, we know it's exactly how it should be. So that does take time. We always apologise that it takes a little bit longer, but we'll never change what we do because it's just the best way to protect everybody. In that container you already mentioned, we've got S16 and S16 Pros. I'm actually really excited about this. We still haven't got one. I still haven't stood on one, but just seeing how the S19 went and just knowing the quality that Kingsong's been putting out lately, really excited to see how this wheel runs, see how it performs. And we've got the Pro coming as well, right?
Yes, so both models, they ended up squeezing into the shipment just before it had left. And yeah, that's looking to be an amazing all-rounder.
There is something funny or special about our Pros. Do you remember what that is? No, you don't remember? He's looking at me.
Is it that we don't actually have the Pro tag?
Yeah.
And that's coming separately?
Yeah, so we were able to twist Kingsong's arm. They weren't ready to ship out the S22 Pros. The badges weren't ready, but we basically said if it's just the badge, we'll take it as it is, and they'll ship us the badges later. So we've got a whole big shipment of S16 Pro, arriving, but it doesn't have that identifying badge. So if you do buy one,
they're sending us the badge in the next shipment.
Exactly.
So we can pass that along for those who really want that little extra.
I would want
badge.
It. It looks like a cool badge.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
But yes, just know that yes, ours are S16 Pro as well.
It was really nice they were willing to do that, because I know normally they wouldn't release a unit even just without the badge. They would say no, but
we didn't want one tiny thing like that to hold it up for another month or so.
And that also links into, I guess, actually I'll finish this conversation. V14 Adventure. There's also a few of those left in this shipment. I think we've got about 15 left.
Yep.
We airshipped one in. I think airshipped? No. Did we airship it in? We got it ahead of schedule. We got one of the very first ones in. And we had it over Christmas, and you've had a good ride on it. I've had a really good ride on it, and I'm super impressed with this wheel. We've spoken, you and I, Lucas, Ken, they all agree this thing accelerates like crazy. Like it's
powerful.
It's powerful. Like it really gets up and goes, but it gets up to that top speed, or not the top speed. It gets up to sort of 50, 60, 65 really quickly.
Before you realise.
Yeah, you don't realise. Yeah. And you don't get that speed wobble like you do with a normal 16-inch wheel. Like I find with my V12s, high torque and high speed, I get a bit of a wobble around 40, 45, and then you could power through it. But with the Adventure, you just kind of wait for the wobble, and it doesn't come. And then all of a sudden, you're on 65k an hour. You're like, oh, okay, I better slow down.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Which I think is partly why you get so surprised when you all of a sudden look down and realise what speed you're doing. Effortless in accelerating. Really nice to maneuver.
Yeah, balanced really
playful,
well too.
Really playful as.
You can take that through you can take it on a real technical off-road course, and it's easy. Like you can stop, come to a complete stop, do a 90-degree turn, jump up a route, go around a tree. It's got so much power and maneuverability, and the tire is the perfect tire for that wheel. Like it really is for on-road, off-road. It's a really nice hybrid tire. It's nothing like the one on the S19, which we both don't like.
It's got the weird
sort of drop off.
Yeah.
This thing turns, it carves. Like you get on the road and you can carve it.
It comes with pads so that they're.
Well, that's the other big thing, right? It comes with the Bedau BD3s. I think is what people know them as. But InMotion paid Bedau to license Bedau, however you pronounce it.
Bedau.
License those pads to the wheel, and they come with the mounting plates as well.
Yes,
the flat.
You fix those to the wheel. So even if they've got a nice surface to be able to custom put your.
So even if you don't want to use their pads, you've still got the mounting plates to put whatever pads you want on. You want to put Grizzlers on?
Yeah, you don't have to muck around with it. It's all ready to go out of the box.
The other thing is the suspension. Again, I talked about this yesterday. By the way, this is take 2. We recorded this yesterday and the camera was out of focus. Yeah. The suspension for me was the biggest surprise. Like, I cannot bottom it out. And I'm a big guy. Like, I can bottom wheels out pretty easily. I took this out and off-road for 2.5 hours over bumps and jumps and down sort of 2-foot drops. Any other wheel I've taken on that particular course, I've been able to, if I try hard enough, I've been able to bottom out. You know, whether it be the Pattern or the S22, could not bottom out the Adventure. Could not. It didn't even feel like it was getting anywhere near.
Yeah, it means that you can have fun with it.
Yep.
It means that you can do some pretty daring drops and things like that, and not worry about bottoming out the unit or damaging. Yeah, it's a nice setup having that progressive spring. It's a really good choice. It's got me sold on the idea of using progressive springs and everything.
And I suspect every wheel will start to have progressive springs. I think it's just
Well, the Lynx went to a progressive spring as well. So that, because again, the Pattern and Sherman S had the potential for the lighter kind of suspension setups to bottom out with some jumps.
And I'm glad that the Lynx suspension can be put into the Sherman S. So if there's any Sherman S riders out there and they're a heavier rider,
Sherman S, then you can
put the
Lynx
progressive
the
into
Lynx suspension into Sherman S and vice versa.
Yeah, but not the Pattern, unfortunately, at this stage.
No,
but they have.
But I'm sure that
There'll be something.
Springs, when people are maintaining
they
the
can,
shocks in future, they'll be able to pour out the fluid, change over the spring, put it all back together, and that's what we're hoping for. At least. It makes sense.
The other thing in the container, and this is a big one, is we bought some more K6s. We sold out completely. We bought another batch because we got them at a really, really good price, and you wanted to do a special.
Yes.
So they're normally what, $5,499 is the recommend. It was our discounted price.
Yep.
But we've got these at a pretty
$4,999.
So $4,999. That's the sale price. So K6. If you don't know what the K6 is, go to our webpage. I'll put a picture here. It's just this crazy dual motor
low rider
rocket. That's a good low rider rocket. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's just had a firmware upgrade.
Oh, that's right.
So Ken and Lucas, just before Christmas, I think it was, did the firmware upgrade, which has unlocked it up to between 110 and 115 kilometers per hour now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you would think that would be scary, but on a private racetrack, not at the front of our shop certainly, it's really stable. It's honestly, it literally feels like you're riding like a Honda 250. Like, it feels like you're on a normal road bike. It's so stable.
The only time it's not stable
is at the very beginning.
Is for when you're like cruising along at, when you get your speed up to 30 to 40k an hour, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, let's just see how much it's got.
Yeah.
And you go like that, and then all of a sudden you're like bouncing around and you take off, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But once you're actually going, it feels like the torque and the low balance. It's really quite fun and stable once it's up and going. So we would love to see people racing these.
And we
have to get a few more available for ourselves at some point, so that we
they
can
keep selling.
actually
That's
do
the
races.
problem.
But
and we haven't even done any footage of it yet, because every time we go to do it, it rains. It's like we've had
a bad run in the last, in Queensland here in Brisbane, we have had heaps more storms and rain for such a situation. We're supposed to be in El Nino here, but we've had heaps of rain, and that's been a little that's been making it a little bit more challenging to find the right timing to get out and do some of that testing and riding.
But we're gonna, hopefully today, we might go do some footage today if it's not raining right now. I don't think it is. So K6, we've got limited supply, $4,999, and we're going to chuck in a free pair of goggles as well. So we've got some really nice blur goggles downstairs, because we think at that speed you need goggles. So you
don't want something flicking in your eye.
Exactly. So every purchase of the K6 at the discounted price gets a free pair of goggles. I don't know, if I'm not going to open the box, we might just ship them separately. But anyway, we'll work it out.
Okay.
Next wheel is the Bigode's, I guess, response to the Lynx.
Yes,
the ET Max. So every time we've discovered, I mean, everyone's noticed it, but anytime a competitor brings out a faster wheel or a more high-powered wheel or a higher voltage system, Bigode very quickly, within 2 weeks, will make an announcement that they have a new wheel coming, and it's generally better in one or two avenues.
One-ups them.
It always tries to one-up them. I've got no problem with that. It does, frustrate us as a dealer because
it's great to have competition in the market.
It is.
Because it keeps things moving forwards, and but yeah, obviously there is a downside to that. It means that there's a lot of models being released one after the other. Whenever any other brand brings a unit onto the market, and I guess it has its challenges for keeping up with, especially when there's so many revisions and changes as they keep trying to outcompete each other.
Yeah, the thing that frustrates me is the lead time. So, you know, for example, Leaperkin will announce a wheel, and they normally have already shipped out demo wheels to certain people, and they're already starting production. Whereas Sabre Goat has announced this ET Max, we won't have it for.
I'm not sure.
Who knows
when that one's ready,
exactly?
But, yeah.
We will get it in if people want it.
But
so
they want to try and make sure that everyone who's still interested in a Lynx,
to try to win them over,
considers their version of the Lynx, and it even looks, you know, a little bit similar. So sure, I get it. But,
it's tricky because then you don't know. But then as a dealer, you go, okay, well, let's go and get let's get 30 ET Maxes in, and then between now and then, we pay the bill.
ET Max Pro.
Exactly, and that's the problem, right? And that's what makes us a bit nervous to go and order big numbers, because what happens if the moment hits the water, they go, oh, by the way, we've now got a Pro model.
It's happened.
Yeah,
it's
I know it has.
On numerous models.
Yeah.
And then, of course, or even if it's ET Max but version 2 or 3, the boards aren't always compatible with each other.
No, not always. They're never compatible.
For some of the models,
it's like they fire the production team after every wheel, because every single time they do a revision. No, this is serious.
I know, it seems independent of
the T4s
each
and the
other.
Masters, every single time we have to get a replacement board, they just don't fit. It's different connectors. It's a different shape heatsink. It's ridiculous. It's really hard to deal with.
It's got its challenges. So.
But customers look past that because they just want. Some customers just want raw performance. That's
yeah. And this is why, where possible, we try to make sure that a model has been worked through those sorts of changes and kinks before committing to bringing the stock in and the batch in to actually keep in stock. We will take orders though for those that just are committed to it and want a wheel in a time when it's still new. So we totally understand that, and we will accommodate that. But for keeping stock, we don't really order excess stock in until we know that it's solid and it's going to offer our customers the least amount of issues. And so that we can support it properly too, by having the right parts on hand, and not this change of a board needing a new motherboard holder and a new cover and a new cable to be able to plug that light into and so forth. So yeah.
Another new thing, so we'll move on from that. I agree. So we're going to get it in. If you're interested in it, let us know. It'll be on our website.
Yeah, we haven't actually added
Monday.
it yet, but we'll add it.
We'll put it on the website. If you're really interested, it'll be on there at a pre-sale price. We'll do our usual deposit and so on. And it'll help us gauge how many to order in.
Yes.
Right. Another new thing, and we didn't talk about this yesterday, but I just remembered. Bob Yang, former CEO of InMotion, has started to release some products. And I think we've seen a few people get his smart charger, which is quite interesting. But the one that's really excited me is his wireless finger dinger. Let's call it
finger dinger.
That's a terrible name. What do you call it? Wireless buzzer, horn. That's the word I'm looking for. Bell, yeah. So finger bell, yeah, sure.
But yeah,
there's no good way of saying it.
There's a power slide finger bell, which is actually a manual bell.
That's right.
And you have a little strap that goes around it. We've tried those.
So he's released this, and it's over 100. He's claiming over 100 decibels. I think it's 112 maybe. Don't quote me on that. It's got a volume setting, so you can actually adjust the volume on it, and it's got 4 separate tones. So this is really cool.
This was a product that I think they took and then modified into working nicely for EUC riders.
Because they've made it bigger to fit over gloves. So it's right. Because I think the original one was designed for like cyclists and stuff, and they generally were just it was a smaller finger hole.
Yeah, nice idea to try and bring little innovative products that will help riders with their rider lifestyle, whatever it is that they're needing, whether it's extra tools for safe charging, smart charging, bells, and I'm sure he has a few other things in the pipipeline. So
it'd be exciting. It'd be really exciting to see what else he does, because again, coming from InMotion, he does have attention to detail. He has good ideas. I mean, he obviously has a good workflow or access to development. He's already brought out. He only left InMotion 8 months ago, 6 months ago, roughly officially. And he's already got 2 products to market, which is pretty cool. I know that Fingerbell is going to be hugely successful with the e-skate crowd as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I've already seen it. I've already seen it get posted in multiple electric skateboard groups saying this is what we need. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, the simple things sometimes that just aren't available that make, because our industry has to bring protective gear and accessories from other industries, and they're not always optimal for because we're taking things from moto and other sports and various aspects. So it is really nice to have custom developed accessories and products to improve the lifestyle and the functionality for PEV riders and EUC riders. So yeah,
definitely
great idea.
Right, moving on. The thing we talked about at the very beginning of the show, the reason we're so busy at the end of 2023 and we didn't make our year-end wheel talk, we exploded with new riders. So I don't know if it was our ad campaign. We had the really cool video running, sort of, what is that thing? And we showed Steve and I riding in different scenarios around the city and riding different wheels.
Yeah, so for anyone who see that was me on the S19.
Yeah, you couldn't make the turn.
Walking around with the blue jacket on with the E-RIDERZ and so that was me.
It was a really interesting, fun video to make. And it got thousands and thousands of likes and comments and clicks and so on. But we really did see an explosion in that smaller entry-level wheel, which was really exciting for us. We really love to see new riders come in.
14Ds from Kingsong were popular. And
16Ss, a few V8Ss, S18s, all very popular. But the other one, and this is what we spoke about at the beginning, the crowd that we didn't even know really existed. We had heard of, we'd sort of had rumblings, but we'd never really had any confirmed sales. And then all of a sudden, thanks to a viral video out of Argentina, we started getting phone calls, I felt like every day.
It did seem like that for a while, from Polo players.
So all these parents are calling up for their kids who want to get into Polo.
That's right.
But are too small to get on the horses and hold the stick.
The sticks are quite long, because you need to normally be on a horse, and it's too heavy and not very practical for a kid to ride while learning to play polo and swinging this big stick around. So by bringing in an electric unicycle to ride on and learn the skills and to where you're closer to the ground, you're still doing lots of maneuvering. They shorten the stick so that it's perfect for riding and playing. Then it's an entry point for kids to get into to learning and playing EUC Polo. So it was really cool because we knew of it, but it was the first time that we saw so many at once talking about it. We'd had one or two sales for certain ranches and families that had been in polo and had traveled to other countries in the world playing polo. So they'd seen them in other countries and then started to use them as training tools. And these are adults, not the kids, but the adults using them as a training tool for polo in the down season and so forth. And now we're really starting to see it's a method for kids to get involved in.
And what the parents are saying is they want to actually have a polo league, like an EUC Polo. So not just as a training tool for the horses, but they actually want to start doing little side games and actually have an EUC league for it, which is really exciting.
Yeah. So the video clip that everyone saw, they were on a Kingsong S16X.
Yeah.
And there was some great footage of young riders on that model. Funny thing is, because of the time of the year and we kind of had a lull for some of those models for a little bit, we pretty much cleared out nearly all our stock of those sorts of models due to polo players coming in and grabbing like a couple of units of this and that. And so we went through S18s and 16s and it was it's crazy.
But it got us thinking. So it got us thinking. We were talking about this at the end of the year, and also we continued the conversation yesterday. What other sports can you play on EUC? Because when you think about it, there's a lot of options. Like we do hockey in the car park.
Yeah,
so
we
have some ice hockey sticks which we get out in the car park and have a bit of a play with.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, you think about it.
I've seen some video clips in New York and others of them on like basketball courts doing.
I was going to say the more agile these wheels get, and the more powerful they are, and you can really pendulum without sort of blowing boards and so on. Yeah, there's no reason why you can't start to play tennis or rugby and
Yeah, what ones have we raised the idea of before?
yeah.
I think you had like we were talking of frisbee, like the
Frisbee,
one where
yeah.
you like race around
Well,
that big outdoor
yeah.
field
So I
where
actually
they
did
have
that. So
the frisbee.
a friend of mine, Danny Black, who's he's a YouTuber, we've got a ultimate frisbee course near my place, and we met there.
Parklands, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so if you don't know what ultimate frisbee is, it's like a golf, but you have a big sort of netball net with a chain
net to collect the frisbee when you
Yeah.
hit a hole in one.
Yeah, exactly. So you basically like you tee off, you throw it. But he was on one of my electric skateboards. I was on an EUC, and I tell you what, it's so much fun. And you can have 2 or 3 rounds in the same time you'd normally have 1 round.
Because you get to your frisbee.
Exactly,
and
exactly.
yeah,
And you know you'll have your purists like you do with a golf, like some people love to walk with their golf clubs and not use the buggy, but you can just play for longer, and it's just more fun. But here's an opportunity for you to go in the competition to win some Fox merch.
Yeah.
What sports do you think would be good on EUC? So we'd love to know your input. So if you could go out today and create a sports league, what would it be? Comment below, tell us, and we'll try it out. Like if we've got the possibility, we can make a video on it.
Couples like tennis would be pretty cool too. What's the word for
dangerous?
Doubles, like
doubles,
you know,
yeah.
on M10 4s or something. That'd be pretty funny.
I could see a lot of scraped knees doing doubles because you'd bang into each other.
Well, we've also talked about
Gladiators.
other ideas that are a bit more full honors and full body
jousting
contact as well, such as jousting and gladiator. You know, so that's an idea. Paintball.
Yes, paintball. That was the one. That was the one I reckon would be awesome fun. Like that would be fun because you could really zip and be fast. Especially if you get like an M10 4 or a
But if you get the right
S16.
person chasing another one, I feel like there'd be some pretty serious carnage there.
Yeah,
but,
it'd be worth it though.
It would
be a lot of fun.
So yeah, give us your suggestions. What would you like to see?
Circling back to S16, we sort of didn't talk about this, but we are looking at the S16 and looking at its capabilities and so on. We just talking. I guess it's linking into the Polo discussion.
It does, yeah. About the choice of which model is
exactly
good for doing Polo.
Yeah. So Polo, but also a beginner wheel without being a beginner wheel. Because we see, whenever someone comes into our shop and they go, I want to learn to ride EUC, we sort of ask them, I mean, my first question really is, what's your budget? Because if they've only got $1,000, then great. Here's the 14D, but we know they're going to outgrow it if they stick to it. If they say, I want something that I can grow into, if I want a bit, I don't mind spending a bit of money, that's when we sort of start looking at.
That's right.
Excuse me. Traditionally, the 16S,
16X,
18XL.
Yeah.
That's
where it's something you can learn on, but you're not going to grow out of immediately, and you can really still utilize it for getting to work and some recreational rides and.
But I think with the S16 coming out, I really think that's going to replace a lot of our entry level wheels.
Yep.
It's going to answer a lot of questions.
I think it will be the new
go-to
for great all-rounder while still being entry-level friendly.
Yeah, good size battery,
price,
84 volt
performance.
Yeah, good torque, speakers, lights, really comfortable, good pedal height, suspension.
Yeah, so the reviews and feedback so far is great. We obviously don't have our hands on our own models yet.
Not yet.
Not far away now. But
Any day.
They look awesome.
Yeah.
I can definitely see them being the new learn to,
and like any sort of, I guess, mid-powered, I guess you'd call it, wheel. We saw when they first announced it, everyone was like, no thanks, 84 volts. No, I wouldn't touch it with a bar of soap, sort of thing. Everything we've seen from overseas is showing incredible performance. Like, sure, it's not the fastest wheel because it's not supposed to be, but even climbing
60 k's an hour though.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the hill climb and the torque ability.
But I'm saying from an entry to mid-level wheel, 50 to 60k depending on the model. If it's an S16 or S16 Pro, you don't really need that much more than that for that type of riding.
I agree.
And it has some amazing hill climbing capabilities just to show what it's capable of from a torque perspective. It's definitely going to be a big player.
Which one are we going to which one are we going to have for the shop out of interest? Pro or standard?
I'll have to see what ones are left after fulfilling some of these orders.
It'll be a Pro, don't worry.
It'll be a Pro, but without the Pro sticker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, moving on. So next one, just a quick update on the shop. We are extremely busy, but also we've got the team is growing. So we've got a new guy who has started with us, which is really nice. It's added a lot of a nice new dynamic to the team.
Yeah, some of the people in Australia might, especially those that have watched our previous videos, may have heard us talk about him. So Lucas has moved over from
Perth,
WA, Perth, Eton, over here, and he's working with E-RIDERZ at the moment, part-time. And yeah, he was the winner of the ERL Megafast Race Day event in the EUC Pro category. So Ken, our other tech, he got second place, and Lucas got first. So we didn't want to just settle for second place. So we just we brought number one in.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So he's going to be taking on not a tech role essentially. He's going to be doing a bit of a jack of all trades. So he's going to be helping out with customer service, emails, logistics,
mix of support and also,
but he's also very, very capable on the tools. And we've already got him working on wheels, which is really nice. Under the supervision of Ken. And
he's got some good experience.
He's got some really good experience. So. Exactly, like he's rebuilt all of his own wheels. I know he's been a nice sort of help in the Perth community, helping guys out, fix things and so on. And he's slotted in here really easy. So really nice guy. If you ever call and you get him on the phone, make sure you say hi. And yeah, it just frees us up to concentrate more on getting out and making content and testing out wheels and doing the best deals we can.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Helping to promote the community and
yeah. Anything else?
Well, there's a lot in the pipeline.
Yeah.
We've got new bikes coming.
Oh yeah, Stator. So you remember we talked about Stator bikes, the bikes that we sell here. We completely sold out of those.
Yes,
like
that was
3 months ahead of what we forecast.
December.
That was another thing that kept us busy. So obviously the beginner wheels and the Polo players, but also we had some retailers come on to take on Stator bikes.
Yeah, they weren't like we were thinking that they would come a bit later in the process. After we'd worked with these models longer, but yeah, they were so popular that they sold out heaps quicker.
Than we've literally got one bike left downstairs, which is on the shop floor, which is one we ride to get lunch on, and we've had people trying to buy that one.
Yeah.
So we've got another 120 coming, and then we've got another 120 coming after that. It's turning into its own beast. Like we actually need to hire like a bike tech or someone who can actually look after that side of the business almost and be the. We
thought it would be a good sort of marriage between electric unicycles and electric bikes.
Well, because if you can't do one, you can definitely do
the other. Well, that's the thing, and we really want to enable families to be able to ride together because everyone that gets a UC, they all want to go out riding together, and sometimes that's not always practical with other normal bikes or scooters. So the electric bikes are an awesome way to include the family in and make it a nice family event to get out and explore.
Let's wrap it up, I think. So we covered our bikes. We talked about the K6 on sale for $4,999 with free goggles. We've talked about the incoming shipment and the delays. We talked about the ET Max
from Pagoda.
Talked about the Polo. That's it.
We'll have a lot more in our next episode.
Yeah, the next one will be hands-on.
We will have
wheels on the bench.
We've had lots of wheels come in that we've been waiting for. The Lynx, the S16s, the V14 Batch 2 in motion adventures.
Upgraded boards and suspension.
So there's lots coming, and we'll be providing our impressions and feedback.
We'll do dedicated videos, but we'll also have the wheels on the bench for the next wheel talk to actually talk about it. We might get Ken or Lucas to come in as well, talk about the internals and the benefits and so on. They're always happy to come on camera. So, is that it?
That's all for this episode.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, leave a comment.
Thanks for joining us back in 2024. And
24. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah, new season, and we'll catch you in a week or two.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Real talk alert.
Season 2.